if you pull on the slot machine arm enough, you will win. And you never know which pull will reward you. And so not only is that addictive, it's very hard to extinguish that. And so emails like that, because there's always something beckoning, and now and then it's a jackpot. And social media is like that because, people are posting interesting things. And so, well, how do you overcome an addictive process? And partly you do it by replacing it with something better.
Men are more easily governed through their vices than through their virtues. Napoleon Bonaparte. We all have our vices. It's a part of the human condition. Addiction, iniquity, habitual sin. It just comes with the territory. Life is short. Life is hard. We always looking for a little way to make it a little bit easier. Or maybe a little sweeter. But vices. Sometimes when it's got a hold of you, it really can't control your life. But what is a vice? A vice is a behavior, a habit, generally considered immoral, sinful, criminal, rude, taboo, depraved, degrading, or perverted, and not in line with, the society around you. A vice can refer to a fault, a negative character trait, a defect, or, bad or unhealthy habits. But I think there's a fine line between something being a vice and something that may be, an occasional indulgence. I think vices are the things that either have some level of control over your life in a negative way, or maybe something that you're not incredibly proud to admit. Something that you wouldn't, pound your chest and be like, yeah, I'm an alcoholic. Vices are the things that have their teeth sunk deep into our psyche. So let's take some, common examples such as alcoholism. And how the misuse of alcoholism and turning to the bottle instead of turning to, a friend or therapy or something more productive. How giving into our vices can be so detrimental. For example, alcoholism. Alcohol misuse cost Americans $249 billion in 2010, the most recent year with available figures. In 2015, National Drug Use and Health Survey found that 15.1 million adults aged 18 and over live with alcohol use disorder. The excess of alcohol could cost you over $16,000 per year. Imagine if you had that in your pocket. Excessive alcohol has obviously an enormous impact on our physical health as well, such as, heart disease, high blood pressure, higher risk of cancer. 88,000 people per year die due to alcohol-related issues. I think the real scary part about turning to alcohol as your vice is, you build up this tolerance. You've been drinking, and you get to this point where your tolerance is so hard that you really don't even show the fact that you are inebriated, that you at work drunk or you drive drunk. And it's tough because now you're a functional alcoholic and you put people's lives in danger, driving or, being alcoholic with a short temper in a relationship or things of that nature. So it also, some people say alcohol is kind of like that truth serum, but it also takes away the good inhibitions you could have. That filter sometimes you may have where you don't say certain stuff when you're sober. You get a little tequila in your system, a little cognac in your system, a little whiskey in your system, and all of a sudden words just start flying. But that also goes to actions too. Situations where you might reserve yourself from, engaging in physical conflict or something like that. Or, being a destroyer, you kind of put yourself in a position where you like, you know what? I don't really give a fuck. And you do it anyway. That's because you got that liquid courage in you. But sometimes inhibition is good, ain't it? Because inhibition sometimes is that, alert in your conscience to say, you know what, this is not right. The consequences and ramifications for this is going to be a little bit detrimental. So I don't think that we should do this. The inner voice is not talking to you as much when you got, a fifth in your system or something like that. So alcoholism and that vice, we all know an alcoholic. I mean, probably a family member. It may be a significant other in a relationship. It could be one of your kids. But once it gets you, it got you. What's another vice we normally turn to? And this is one where I could say I've personally struggled with. And I don't mean to say that in the past tense. I mean currently. Gluttony. Gluttony of fast food. Binge eating. I mean, it's nothing like a good old Italian cheeseburger, fries, and milkshake when you're feeling down on yourself, right? I mean, who doesn't like that? Who doesn't like having some Haagen-Dazs when they feeling a little anxiety or stressed out? And mozzarella sticks. And funnel cake. And fried calamari. It's the excess that gets us. Turn into food as a way to ease some of your anxiety, ease some of your pain, ease some of your loneliness, easing your worry. That's where it gets dangerous. Binge eating has recently been recognized as a disorder not too long ago. BED, binge eating disorder. It's a severe, life-threatening, and treatable eating disorder characterized by recurring episodes of eating large quantities of food, often very quickly and to the point of discomfort, a feeling of loss of control during the binge, experiencing shame, distress, and guilt afterwards, and not regularly using unhealthy compensatory measures like purging to counter the binge eating. It is the most common eating disorder in the United States. And BED is one of the newest eating disorders formally recognized by the DSM-5, which means it's officially been recognized as a disease that, you can get health insurance for, or health insurance will cover. But I'll be honest, I think I might struggle with this one. I was having a very open and transparent talk with my brother about the situation, and I think I came to the conclusion, even doing research for this episode, that I think this might be something I suffer from, to be quite honest. Anybody who knows me in person knows that, I'm a bigger guy. My relationship with food has always been kind of something I turn to. I've had situations where I haven't been comfortable in social situations. Paranoia, I don't feel comfortable around large crowds of people. So, a lot of times you find yourself growing up electing to stay in the house or distance yourself from certain events and crowds and things of that nature. So a lot of times as a kid, food becomes your friend, and it became something that, helped you relax. And it went far beyond something that you would use for nutrition. And it really became like a part of it became a weakness for the most part, where it has such a grip on you, whereas you kind of lose control of, your appetite, knowing when enough is enough. And what you eat is tough. And it's very hard to detach from, because we have to eat food. So I think with me, my relationship with food needs some reassessing. I need to figure out what I'm doing and figure out whether or not I'm eating for a purpose, eating to live, or I'm eating to satisfy myself. But doing that is not necessarily setting myself up for a long, healthy life. And like I probably mentioned before on the show, I'm looking to become a father soon, and having my own biological kid. I really, really, really would enjoy being around for the majority of their life. So I can't continue to have certain habits when it comes to my nutrition and just summarily just dismiss it as, oh, well, I just eat a lot or I got a big appetite. No, I got to reevaluate. And some of us, too, who deal with the same issue, got to reevaluate what our relationship is with food. And I noticed that I might have this disorder when I really calculate how much I eat when nobody's around versus when I got, company or I'm in a restaurant setting or it's just me and my wife or something like that. And I eat way more when nobody's around. Not to the point of like hoarding food or whatever like that, but I could kind of feel myself like I could eat a plate of food and not feel full when somebody's not around, just because I just want to keep that, that gluttony going. It's just comforting, and it's not healthy though. But I didn't even recognize that this was an eating disorder, to be quite honest with y'all. But researching the episode, like I was looking at the symptoms and some of the things that let you know, oh shit. Damn, I check a lot of these boxes, and eating very quickly and eating and going back for seconds and thirds, or eating stuff in the morning that's like supposed to be for dinner. It's wild, but I think I'm here for the fight though. I think I got the things that I need, mentally equipped, spiritually equipped to change that around. So I'm going to be very transparent with it, because that's just how I deal with things the best. I speak it out, put it out into the world, put it out in existence so I can feel that accountability about it. So, hey, a lot of y'all who listening to the show now know. So I expect y'all to hold me responsible too, accountable when you see me. So as we move forward. So this next vice is a funny one. I don't think I have this problem, but damn if I get the allure of it, man. And I got a lot of friends, but gambling. I got some friends that listen to the show that got a gambling problem. I mean, it's all good. Like I don't look at you any different, and I don't judge anybody. But yeah, gambling. It's that thrill that you betting it all on black, and you just rolling the dice, hoping to get that big hit or whatever, and you leave it up to chance, with a chance to hit real big, and maybe change a circumstance type of situation. You see a couple of stuff going on online on Instagram and Facebook, people posting their FanDuel parlays and betting $100, getting back 15 G's, and it's like, damn, that rush is like something that will captivate even the most casual of gamblers. They like, damn, I want that too. So it's kind of like that addiction is like, I can see the grip. But the downside of it is, a lot of times you gambling your future. You gambling your kids' college tuition. You gambling your emergency money. I mean, it's all well and good if the Nets win, but what if they don't win and your transmission goes? We ain't really thinking about that. We thinking about, the Maserati you could buy if you hit this 9-game parlay or something. But the problem with gambling is, one, it can lead to a level of criminality. Some people get so desperate for gambling, they start stealing, stealing to pay back a debt, stealing money just so they can get that bet in before the game start. You also don't build very good financial habits with gambling. I know wealthy people always talk about you got to take calculated risk. But gambling is sort of like you saying, I'm ready to risk losing this money though. But the risk that I'm betting on is not something that is in my control at all. So you can do all the research that you want, but it's still up to chance. That one player may not be playing that game. They go your parlay. So it's tough. I know some homies that's gamblers. I mean, if you got it and you can do it in moderation, that's all well and good. But at the same time, if you took an honest look at where that money could benefit you in other places, I mean, damn. You might have made that money somewhere else. I think vices and habitual sin, some of these things we addicted to, now that social media is such a huge part of our everyday lives, and we have such quick access to things, it's very easy to get addicted to stuff. It's very easy to find pleasure in things at the drop of a dime. People being addicted to pornography, social media, and I think people are most addicted to nowadays is attention. Whenever you got people posting pictures and they getting upset that people aren't liking it, it's like, man, how far we come in society when we have to find different ways to validate ourselves in this social popularity contest. And it's really not useful for us, because you live in a life where you want to live a life of high value. But if you place in a huge part of what you find valuable in what other people think of you, or how they see you, or how they, share a post or promote you, it's sort of like, I think we got our priorities off. And don't get me wrong, I understand the lure. Some people out here who made millions of dollars just off getting attention. A YouTube channel, or maybe you're an Instagram model or something like that. You got an OnlyFans, you making money. I totally get it. But at the end of the day, it could be your profession, but you're not going to be beautiful forever. You can set yourself up very well if used responsibly. But let's say you're an Instagram Turker or something like that. And wow, yeah, we appreciate your post because, they make the day go by faster. It's like you be shaking your ass doing this, that, and the third. But, what happens if you got into a car accident, get out of bed, now you're a paraplegic? What you shaking? Your arms? Like, it's not really going to work out for you. Like, your backup plan got to be there. But we have this amazing addiction to attention. We have an addiction for information. I mean, as we sit right here, my Wi-Fi just went out. I had a Wi-Fi outage. And it's like, it was a mean bummer. I'm like, damn, what the hell am I going to do now? Record Mind-On-Matters? Well, yeah, that's what you should have been doing in the first place. But I got so attached to having that instant access and not having to wait for a page to load or something to download or whatever like that, that I almost kind of forget, like, oh yeah, what the hell did you do before Wi-Fi when you was a child? And stuff like that. You still can be productive without having, instant access to the world, So, yeah, we addicted to our phones. I mean, I'm reading stuff about people dying, walking down the street, walking into traffic, walking on the train tracks. People dying trying to take selfies in dangerous spots and stuff of that nature. It's like, how far have we come, man? And what I think it's all about is self-soothing. I really think it comes down to self-soothing. And it makes sense. We learn to self-soothe from infancy. We learn what things or actions make us feel good when we aren't comfortable, and it can be something as simple as sucking on your thumb when you're a child. That feels good. You keep doing it. You a child and you get taken over to a neighbor's house and, meeting them for the first time. It's not very comfortable. You just got your thumb in your mouth just because it feels good. But eventually we build up tolerances to life's challenges because life can be tough. So we just can't self-soothe every time. And we build up tolerance. We become more resilient. We become more wise. But, even in adulthood, we experience things that bring us the discomforts that we don't stand up to the challenges very well. Traumatic experiences, abuse, financial hardships, anxiety, lack of confidence. Those things we don't feel good about. So there are times where instead of confrontation, we choose temporary satisfaction and ease. Because who doesn't like a glass of wine or a couple shots of tequila after a long day of monotonous work, right? We self-soothe instead of dealing with fear and stress, and I really can't blame you. It's certainly more pleasant than dealing with the actual issue. But, you know, sucking on your thumb as an adult is not cute. And biting your nails or having your legs shaken in the job interview is not a good representation of the real you. But have we really identified what our self-soothing techniques are taking place of? Why you do what you do? There has to be a reason behind it. And have we really confronted that? I mean, you go to the bar after work thinking simply you just want to enjoy, you know, a drink in the company of the bartenders or the other patrons. But is it really that? Or is it the fact that you don't want to go home? Is it somebody there that you're not looking forward to rushing home to see? And if so, why? Do you just enjoy sex because you got a high sex drive? Or do you have an urge to constantly be in control of something because you never had any control outside the bedroom? So your body is how you take control, and you take control of others' bodies. So, is you a freak? Or is there some issues going on from your childhood? Maybe a little bit of both. But I think it's a good idea to know the difference between feeling good and feeling better. There's a difference between moving into pleasure and moving past pain. And only really you can answer that question. You know, if you're feeling stressed, your muscles hurt, your body hurts, you can see a masseuse. And the masseuse can give you some ease to your discomfort. That makes sense. But if you sitting up there and you find yourself in a position where you watching porn every night, even though you in a relationship, and you just say, well, you know, I like the scenes, or, you know, this turns me on, or I can adopt some of the stuff I see into my real sexual life, then you got to start questioning. Why would somebody get to the point where they feel like they need to watch porn at a high rate or so frequently? Like, maybe there's some issues there. That's just past voyeurism. It could be something where you might be self-conscious about your own body, so you want to see other bodies that, you know, you admire. Or maybe you like the confidence that you see in the actors and actresses that you can't necessarily place into your real life performance in the bedroom. So you need that level of, you know, template to follow. I mean, it's up to you to figure that out. You got to have an honest revelation about what we are all concealing. I just told you I had a conversation with my brother, and it was so random, and I hate it. I love the fact that he's the type of person I could just, you know, have heavy stuff, and I could just share with him, like, without any judgment. And I love the fact that I had somebody or people like that in my life or whatever, because I'm pretty sure he was like, well, I wasn't expecting you to talk about this like right now or whatever like that. But I felt like it's something I needed to get off my heart and get off my chest and kind of talk it out, because a lot of times stuff don't make sense until you actually put it into words and have somebody in front of you listening and getting their reactions to see, like, damn, well, I sound crazy, but it's the truth. or somebody to tell you that it's not that bad, or I suffer from the same thing, or yeah, your vice is this, but my vice is that, and you can kind of build off one another. That's a beautiful thing. Obviously, I'm a man. I don't know what it's like to be a woman and have, a girlfriend to talk to or whatever like that. But being a guy, I mean, as I get older and my circle gets smaller, I can't tell you what it's like to have good homies in your corner. People that you can just talk to without the fear of judgment. Growing up in a particular environment where, saying certain things, you could be looked at as weak, or you could be looked at as food. I mean, it's very refreshing being able to have grown men convo without the shame. So what can we do to fight the vice and other bad habits? Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is replace it with something more virtuous, or make it work to your benefit for something you wish to achieve. Now, I was trying to think of an example of that. Obviously, there's no way to turn like alcoholism into a positive, or if you're a gambling addict into a positive. But let's say you are a gambler, right? Like you love betting your money and with hopes to, hitting big. All right, so maybe instead of doing a 6-game parlay, maybe you find 6 good upstart stocks in the medical field, or maybe in fuel cells, or I don't know, some IPOs just went public or whatever like that. And you say, you know what, I'm about to gamble on this company. I'm going to try to find me the next Amazon. I'm going to try to find me the next Google. Bet your money that way. That's smarter. Because you're not worried about somebody hitting a 3-point shot, scoring a touchdown, or, hitting a penalty kick or something like that for a sport that you don't even watch. Now you invested into a company where you can actually hit it big, and your losses ain't as, I guess, blindsiding, if you will. You can kind of see the writing on the wall when something is going wrong with a company that you might be invested in. So at least that's the smart way to do that. So if you're going to gamble, I would say gamble smart. Invest in a friend. Somebody who may have a remarkable idea for a business. They want to open up a t-shirt business, or they want to open up an art studio, a photography studio, or something like that. And all they need is a camera. It's like maybe you invest in one of your homies. Another thing we could do is try your best to start conditioning your willpower and becoming more self-disciplined. After all, discipline is nothing other than finding comfort in doing things that you don't like doing. And sure, the vices do come off as situations of doing things that are self-soothing, that do bring us temporary pleasure. But at the end of the day, it's called a vice for a reason. Like, it does have a negative aspect to it, a negative component that, if done irresponsibly over an extended period of time, can cause some very, very, very nasty consequences. So develop your willpower, develop your self-discipline. So if it's something that is your vice, I would say maybe try your best to start holding off on it, even if it's for a minute. You might be addicted to your phone, and like if you have an iPhone, they give you like the average screen time you've been using on average, 4.5, 6, 7 hours a day. Maybe you just try to get it down by 10 minutes or a half hour starting off. Or maybe if you're a glutton, or maybe if you have a binge eating disorder like I think I may have, take 15 minutes before you go get that next meal. See if you're really, really hungry. Drink some water instead. And then after the 15 minutes, if you're still hungry, Okay, maybe we eat. But maybe we do half the portion this time. And then next time we'll do half of the half a portion and do a quarter. And then eventually maybe we'll work our way to, we'll have a cutoff time. We're not eating past 8 o'clock. So try to chip away at that. And then you might be surprised. Having little small victories may exactly give you the courage, give you that wind behind your back to push you and propel you to say, you know what, I think I could do this. I can do a little bit more. I can do a little bit more and a little bit more. And then next thing you know, you may have overcome a hurdle that you may never thought was possible. And that might be the spark that gets you to stop completely. Another thing we need to do, y'all, we need to check our environment and reconfigure our triggers. Temptation is a bitch. So, sorry I got to keep picking on my gamblers, but let's say you got a gambling problem. You just can't stop picking stuff. You got a parlay going every day, every night. You're betting on sports you don't even watch, just so you can get a taste and hopefully hit it big that night. And you feel like if you don't bet tonight, you lost your shot. I would have bet that game. Da 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 da. Got you. The temptation, especially now, gambling is so easy. So, how about a baby step in that direction? Changing our environment. Maybe we delete the FanDuel app on our phone. Maybe for a day. See if we can handle a day. If you can handle a day, try a week. Then try to go to a month. Let's try to get a month without gambling and see how that feels. And take the money that you thought you was going to win and put towards the parlay. Let's put that in a nice portfolio of some high dividend stocks. Let's get some dividends going. Also, we need to find habits that accomplish one of three things. So ask yourself, this vice that I have, does it check each one of these boxes? Does it bring me more wealth? Yes or no? Number 2, does it bring me more health? Yes or no? And lastly, does it bring me more happiness for me and mine? Yes or no? If it can't check those 3 boxes, you already know and have all the evidence you need to know that that's something that is in your life that probably doesn't need to be there. And it's probably something that you should probably indulge in less frequently than what you're doing. I know it feels good. I know you got demons. I know the Jack Daniels or the Remy Martin has become like a friend almost. And keeping a bottle around you or keeping one in your car or a little nip inside the glove box or in your purse, I know that's become like a normal thing. But if it don't bring you more wealth, more health, or more happiness, that means you should be able to ditch it. Or maybe you not should be able to, because addiction is rough. But maybe that's something that you know deep down in your heart, that you haven't been listening to it because you've been having this voice inside you that's kind of ignoring it. You know that's something that you need to stop doing. Only 1 out of 10 Americans overcome their addictions. That's rough. And I get it. I think I have a food addiction, so I understand. But I'd rather go out there and try to overcome my struggles the same way I encourage you to do yours. At least not being in denial of what my shortcomings is. Because if I'm not in denial, at least that means I have some fight. And we got some fight, you never know. You never know. So, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration has a national helpline. The number is 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. It's a national helpline, like I said. It's free. It's confidential. It's 24/7, 365. It's a treatment and referral information service. So please don't call the number thinking that you're going to be able to get online and just talk to somebody who's going to give you, some quality advice about what to do next, or how to treat you or diagnose things or whatever like that. It's just a referral service and place that you go for information that might, have information on somebody local to you that can actually help. So, but I encourage you to take that first step and keep it honest, because some of us coming into our 30s and our 40s, we entering that perfect time in our life right now where we can leave a lot of bad baggage behind that'll really propel not only us, man, but our families going forward. And we could change the entire landscape of our lives. And some of us got good jobs and, exciting things going on outside of work that we want to embark on. And we just got that one thing dragging us back. And it's been with us the whole time like a dark passenger. But imagine if we leave that behind, how far we can go forward then. But this hotline has English and Spanish. And it's for individuals and families facing mental and or substance abuse disorders. So that's where I leave y'all with this show. I hope y'all doing well out there. I know where I'm at. It's getting hot. Summertime is definitely here. I see people traveling. I see people out there getting vaccinated. Everybody ready to party. They've been cooped up. Hey, I don't blame you, man. Enjoy your time. Your boy, I ain't with the large crowds yet, so y'all can miss me with that. But, if you do what you do, have fun, do it responsibly, take pictures, and live it up, man. Go fishing with a buddy, go shooting with your son, take wifey out on a nice date. She been dying to get dressed up for a minute now, so do what you do. But that's why I leave y'all, man. Be down for the fight. Understand your vices. Let's try to do what we got to do to take control of it, even if it's one little step right after you listen to this podcast. One little step, just to show yourself that you got it. I'll talk to y'all next week. Ubuntu.